So I've told a lot of stories on this channel of spoiled kids, but I think today we have the story of the most spoiled kid ever. Subscribe if you like stories, and let's call today's subscriber who sent in this story, let's call him Arnold. So this all happened at a family reunion, and this was a 3-day long event. So on the first day, right, Arnold gets to the family reunion with his parents, and there's a ton of people at this thing. It's like multiple branches of the family, and there's a one side of Arnold's family that he never really saw. It was like his cousin on his dad's side. They just like his dad and his brother didn't really talk that much, so he didn't really see them much besides like family reunions like this. So his cousin, right, was the most spoiled kid ever. And if you don't believe me, just sit around, stick tight, and you'll hear the story, and then you'll 100% agree with me by the end of this. So Arnold and his parents walk over to this kind of big field, and in this field there's a lot of people there, a lot of people from his family, and they're cooking up barbecues. They got all these tables set up. The first day is like an outdoor event, and they're all just kind of there. They're having like a big barbecue just to like talk to each other, see each other, kind of like get to know each other again, as a lot of people in the family don't really see each other because they live all over the place, but they all decided to come together just to kind of like a bit of a reunion that they have every 10 years or so. So anyways, right, Arnold and his parents, they walk over, and they're, Arnold's mom is carrying some big plate of food or whatever, and she goes and sees like her aunt, and she's like, oh, where should I put this? And she's like, oh, put it on this table. And anyways, right, Arnold is kind of looking around, and he sees like a group of kids, because Arnold at this point, he's 14 years old, and most of the people here are like legit adults. They're like 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, but there are some kids here, right? And he goes over and kind of like hangs out with the other kids that are there, and there's like some other people, but the main important person that you need to know who is there is Arnold's cousin, aka the most spoiled kid ever. We're just gonna call him the spoiled kid for the duration of this video. So anyways, right, they're all kind of like standing around talking. They're having very basic dialogue. I mean, like, they don't know each other that well. They're not going to be talking about the meaning of life or anything, but they're just kind of chilling. They're having a chill conversation. You know how it is. And for some reason, right, the spoiled kid decides that this conversation, talking about like Fortnite or whatever, is the perfect opportunity to talk about his dad and how much money his dad makes. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. The spoiled kid was legitimately like, oh, so like my dad just got a promotion yesterday to MD at Goldman Sachs, and he's going to be making $400K a year. But like all the other kids are like, okay, man, like, congrats, you really worked hard for that. Like, okay, nice, like, you're really grinding hard for your dad's promotion. Like, bet, I get it, like, whatever. But the thing is, right, the spoiled kid, Arnold's cousin, didn't even notice, or even if he did notice that people weren't really caring, he decided to willfully ignore it and was just like, yeah, so we're going to be going on even more trips, and I'm going to be able to get the new Yeezys. And Arnold's like, okay, nice. And he's like, yeah, I bet you guys are a little jelly. And, they're all just like, I mean, like, that's cool, man. Like, I'm glad someone here's parents are winning, because Arnold's parents, they did fine, but they were very solidly like middle class, if not like lower middle class. Like, it is what it is, man. He had a good childhood. Like, I don't know. They supported him. They were loving parents. But yeah, no, his dad was not like a managing director at Goldman Sachs trading corn derivatives or anything like that, man. But anyways, Arnold immediately was like, all right, so I don't like my cousin that much, but maybe, just maybe, he'll find a way to redeem himself, and maybe he's just having a mental episode right now. Maybe that's why he's acting so spoiled. So eventually, right, it was a barbecue, but like most of the food wasn't ready by the time Arnold got there. So eventually, right, Arnold's uncle or aunt or whatever, right, they're like, all right, it's time to eat, guys. So all the kids run over, and, I don't know, Arnold gets in line. He picks up a hamburger. Like, it's some good food. Like, it's not like some, 5-star delicacy, but like he's enjoying it. It's good food. But he looks over at, his cousin, right? The spoiled kid. And sure enough, the spoiled kid looks at the food, looks around, and goes, bleh, bleh, bleh. And Arnold kind of looks at him like, are you fine? Like, are you feeling sick? He's like, I'm not feeling sick now, but like, if I eat this peasant food, I might be feeling sick soon. Arnold's like, dude, like, come on, it's actually pretty good. And he's like, I wouldn't want to put that filth in my body. I would just be like you guys. And Arnold is like, all right, this guy is a complete ass. Like, what the heck? Like, why is he my cousin, bro? Like, what is going on here? But anyways, right, the spoiled kid actually ends up turning to the family member that was like preparing the food and serving it to people and like making sure it stayed like nice and like whatever, right? She was she was behind there prepping the food, and the spoiled kid goes up to her and says, excuse me? And she's like, yes, I don't know, cousin name, spoiled kid, whatever his actual name was, right? Yes, spoiled kid, like, what's up? And he's like, do you by any chance, right? Do you happen to have any non-peasant food? and she was like, what? And he's like, I don't know. I just think my stomach can't handle such barbaric food like this. She's like, I mean, I could get you some lettuce. And he's like, it's fine. It's whatever. I'll just starve. So he just walks away. And Arnold is just looking at this kid like, bro, you can't be serious. Real quick, comment spoiled down below if you want to harden your comment. Secret word of the day is spoiled. Don't take it too personally if I don't get to harden your comment right away. I'm probably going to be pretty busy when I post this video. And also, if you want to support the channel like a lot, binge watch my videos. I got playlists in the description. And please let me know in the comments if you're doing that, if you're watching a ton of my videos in one sitting, so I can try and personally thank you for helping the channel so much. Anyways, back to the story. You guys might be thinking, all right, well, he seems like a pretty bratty kid, but is he really the most spoiled kid you've ever told on the channel? And let me just say that day 1 was nothing compared to day 2 and day 3. So let's skip ahead to day 2 of the family reunion. So anyways, right, this was not outside in the fields anymore. This was not like an outside barbecue. They were going to a restaurant for lunch. And look, they had to seat like a ton of people. They're not going to be banging out a ton of money for this. They just kind of went to kind of more of a diner type restaurant, or not diner, kind of more of like a burger place, like a burger shack or something like that. It wasn't exactly fast food, but it was pretty adjacent to it. I would say similar to like In-N-Out if you've ever been there. But anyways, right, they all get in there and they sit down, and I don't know if your family did this, but my family always had like a kids table. All the adults would sit together and then all the kids would be sitting at a table. And so anyways, right, Arnold and the other people there who didn't suck, and then his cousin, the spoiled kid who sucked big butt, right, they all sat at the same table. And they were looking at the menu, and, the spoiled kid was like, do you guys see any filet mignon? Do you see any, I don't know, beef Wellington? Do you guys see any, just listing off more super expensive, super fancy, 5-star gold-plated food and stuff? And Arnold looks at the kid and is like, bro, you do realize we're in a burger place. I don't know who told you that you're going to be able to get like a filet mignon or like a beef Wellington in a burger place. But let me just say that, you're not going to get it. And the spoiled kid's like, oh, well, I'll ask, buddy. I don't know, man. Whenever someone says buddy with a little bit of attitude, it always makes me so mad. So anyways, right, the waiter comes around and starts asking people for their orders. Arnold gets like, I don't know, their like signature burger, whatever, right? Kind of standard. And the spoiled kid is like, waiter, chop chop. And the waiter's like, all right, man, I'm being paid like $8 an hour. Just shut up. But he doesn't say that. He comes over. He's like, yes. And the spoiled kid is like, so do you guys happen to, and I'm sure you do, it's so hilarious that I even have to ask this, do you guys happen to have any filet mignons in the back? And the waiter's like, no, sir, this is a Wendy's. No, but he's like, this is a burger place. Like, we don't have any of that. And Arnold's like, oh, how silly of you guys. Do you think the chef could maybe whip me one up? I'll pay extra. And then he takes out his dad's credit card, which apparently he's also on his dad's credit card. And he like taps it on the table. And the waiter, once again, is like, sir, this is a Wendy's. But no, he's like, I don't think we even have like any steak in the back. Like, I could get you like a plate of ground hamburger. And at this point, the spoiled kid's like, what? You guys don't have filet mignons? All right, well, do you guys happen to have any beef Wellingtons? The waiter's like, sir, if we don't have filet mignons why do you think we have beef Wellingtons? Sir, this is a burger place. And the spoiled kid is like, fine, I'll have your disgusting poor person burger. At this point, right, the waiter just gives him this dirty look. So anyways, right, eventually the food comes out and, the spoiled kid gets the burger. He kind of pokes at it a little bit and eventually does eat it because the burger's pretty good. But he's like complaining and like gagging the whole time, even though he eats the whole thing. So we think I don't know, the subscriber thinks that all the gagging was just for show and he actually thought it was pretty good. But anyways, after dinner, right, they're walking down, kind of like this kind of like strip mall area. And there's a movie theater and there's a movie playing, and the spoiled kid turns to, I don't know, whatever adult was nearby and is like, we should totally watch this movie. That would be so fun. I've heard such good things about the movie. And to be honest, Arnold was kind of down for that. Like the movie he did hear good things about it, and he does want to go watch it at some point. And he's like, okay, if I have to watch with the spoiled kid, at least spoiled kid wouldn't be able to say anything or do any nonsense during the movie, one would think. And the adult was like, hey, like we got some other stuff planned for today, but maybe later. And the spoiled kid is like, well, but I want to go see the movie. And the adult's like, well, I mean, I never said you couldn't ever go see the movie, man. Like, if you want to go see it later, that's fine. And the spoiled kid's like, no, I want to go see it now. And Arnold's like, oh no, here we go again, bro. And so sure enough, right, the spoiled kid's like, but why? Why can't I see it? And the adult's like, we have other stuff planned. Like, you can see it later, spoiled kid. It says his actual name, but like, whatever, right? And, he's like, but, and he starts tearing up, and the adult's like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I didn't plan this event like your aunt did. She's kind of orchestrated the whole thing. Like, I just don't want to go against what she says. And the spoiled kid's like, do I not deserve to see a movie that I want to see? Am I not good enough for it? And the person's like, no, I didn't say that. And at this point, like, Arnold is just like, bro, this kid sucks. This kid sucks. He super sucks. Let's just skip ahead to day 3, the final day, and the day where the spoiled kid just goes off the spoiled meter. So I think that day 2 was worse than day 1, but day 3 is worse than day 2 and day 1 combined. It is so bad. So you really got to strap in for this one. But anyways, right, sure enough, day 3 rolls around and it's the final day. And they're back. They're actually at like the aunt's house. The aunt has a pretty big house with a very large backyard. So everyone's kind of either in the house or in the backyard. And there's like food stuff set up or whatever. And there's like events. And the parents thought it would be pretty fun if the kids would end off the day with a nice like game of hide and seek tag, because the yard was really large and they had all inside the house as well, and the parents just thought it'd be super fun to end off the day like that. So the parents decide that what they'll do is they'll all stand outside and they'll all like congregate out there so that they have free roam to hide in the house and to use a lot of the yard, the front yard and the backyard as well. So anyways, right, the aunt is like, all right guys, come around, we're setting up a big hide and seek game. And so anyways, right, the aunt's like, all right, does anyone want to be the seeker? And no one was really raising their hand. And Arnold was like, all right, well, I don't really care. So he raises his hand. He said, I don't really care either way, but I don't mind being the seeker. And I know that we need one. So his aunt's like, oh, perfect. Thank you so much for volunteering. And so his aunt said, all right, guys, here are the rules. You can hide anywhere, and if he sees you, you're not necessarily it until he tags you. But once you're tagged, you're also a seeker, and you're going to help Arnold find people. So it's mostly a hide and seek game, but it's also a tag game. It's a little bit of a mix. All right, Arnold, I'd like you to count to 100 seconds. And Arnold's like, 100 seconds? That's kind of a long time. But whatever, like, I'll do what I have to do. So Arnold starts counting. He turns around and closes his eyes, right? So Arnold in his head is like, all right, I want to find the spoiled kid and make sure that he does not win. I literally don't care about anything else at this point besides making sure that the spoiled kid loses this, because that kid sucks. Like, at the end of the day, that's all I care about right now, if I'm being honest, if I'm being 100% straight up with you guys. And so, yeah, he counts to 100 and he immediately tries to find people. And anyways, he's looking around. He sees someone. And he kind of ignores them. It's not obvious that he saw him, so it's not like a violation of like the integrity of being the seeker or whatever. But Arnold is really just looking for the spoiled kid at this time. So he looks in the front yard and he sees someone behind the bushes and he sees a pair of Yeezys and he's like, all right, I know exactly who this is. So he pretends like he doesn't see the spoiled kid. And the spoiled kid is like being very, very quiet or whatever. And then all of a sudden, as Arnold gets closer to the bushes without making it seem like he knows the spoiled kid is there, he sprints super quickly and he goes in and he very clearly tags the spoiled kid. And the spoiled kid runs off. And Arnold's like, all right, man, I got you. And he's like, no, you didn't. I dodged it. And Arnold's like, dude, I obviously got you. And the spoiled kid at this point had already ran away. And he's like, oh my God. So Arnold realized that he can't like tag him. He needs to basically slide tackle this guy to prove that he tagged him, right? Or he at least needs another person there to confirm it. So sure enough, right, Arnold goes around, finds someone else, tags them, and now this other person is now it with Arnold. So they both go around, and once again, Arnold sees a pair of Yeezys, and he looks at the other person who he already tagged and kind of gives them like the finger on his mouth, like the shh kind of motion to be quiet. So they both kind of like pretend like they're walking around looking for people as if they don't see the spoiled kid. And then once again, right, the other kid now runs up and tags the spoiled kid. And the spoiled kid is like, you didn't get me, and runs right by him, but runs right into Arnold. Like, because the spoiled kid is so busy running away and pretending like he didn't get tagged by the other guy that he runs right into Arnold. And Arnold basically gives him like a bear hug. He's like, all right, man, I got you. And he's like, no, I used force field. And Arnold's like, bro, what? There's no force field. He's like, yeah, it's the rules. And then the other guy comes and tags him again. He's like, well, your force field was down then. I just tagged you. And he's like, no, you didn't. You didn't tag me. And this happened in the backyard. So all the parents start watching as the spoiled kid is like yelling. And the other two start like, so Arnold and the other guy are like, kind of like spam tagging him. They're like tag. The spoiled kid's like, no, you're missing. I'm dodging it. Don't you see? No one can prove it. And like the aunt is like, all right, spoiled kid, like it's pretty clear that you're it. It's actually pretty fun to be it. Go tag with them or whatever, spoiled kid. Go have fun. And he's like, no. He's just like, no, I'm not gonna be at their I'm not gonna be at their level. I'm not gonna be their level, aunt. I'm not gonna do it. And she's like, what do you mean by that? He's like, I'm not gonna be with the poors. And at this point, right, every single parent turns around and is like, what did this kid just say? Because they all knew he was kind of a jerk, but like, what? He's like, no, I will not drop to their level. They're a filthy, disgusting level. I will not be it. And the spoiled kid sprints away into the house, being like, you didn't get me. And at this point, right, the aunt is like, oh my God, like, this kid is terrible. And at this point, right, the spoiled kid's parents, they kind of know that their son's a bit of a jerk, but they're like, all right, this crossed the line. So the spoiled kid's dad, the same one that he was bragging about getting that raise at Goldman Sachs, walks into the house. And you hear, hi, Dad, ah! And then sure enough, right, the spoiled kid is like, the dad comes out of the house and has the spoiled kid in his arms, like by the gruff of his shirt. He's like, Dad, they were cheating. I don't want to be with the poors. And at this point, right, his dad is like, kind of like his dad like looks at the spoiled kid's mom and is like, hey, we got to go. And he's like, guys, and kind of like turns to everyone, guys, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. We got to leave early. We just remembered that we had something we had to go to. Yeah, sure, buddy. Totally not related to your son being insane or anything, but sure, go ahead. And so, yeah, the spoiled kid is dragged off by his parents into their, like, BMW, like, 200K car or whatever, right? And they drive off. And, like, the aunt is just in disbelief, and all the other parents are just standing around. And the thing is, right, there were some other kids that were still hiding, but they kind of came out of hiding and stopped playing the game when they heard the spoiled kid literally go insane. So the aunt, realizing how awkward of a situation it is right now, is like, all right, everyone, let's go out for ice cream. So sure enough, they all go out for ice cream, and Arnold decides to this time sit with his parents. And he's just like, so, did you see what happened today? And his mom looks at him and she's like, Arnold, I am so proud that you're a good kid. Like, I always knew you're a good kid, but it's just really good to see how, like, it is good to have I gained a little bit of perspective today. Guys, Skibidi toilet disease has gotten out of control. So today we have a story time of this kid who almost murks, I'm not going to say the full-on word because YouTube's going to get me, but basically game ends, almost takes out his entire family because they said, you cannot watch any more Skibidi toilet tonight. Yes, the brain rot has consumed the minds of too many children. The Skibidi toilet disease has gone too far. And that is today's story. So sit back, relax, get comfortable. Leave a like on this video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and like stories. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyways, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Sid. So Sid, during the week this happened, because this happened kind of recently, but for about a week, Sid was going over to his cousin's house. His cousin was a lot younger. Sid was around 18. His cousin was around 8. So it's not like him and his cousin are just going to be chilling, playing games together, hanging out, having a good time. He basically went over there because his cousin's mom, his aunt needed help babysitting the cousin. And just because she was having, there's a lot of people there, but a lot of them were busy. And she basically just needed some help. So Sid's mom very graciously volunteered him. I always love it when your parents volunteer you to do something and somehow they take all the credit for it. Like your mom's like, oh, my son can do that. And the person or the mom that she offers you to, it's like, wow, that's so nice. Looking at your mom, it's like, bro, I'm the one doing the work here. At least give me the credit. If I'm being forced to do this, I should at least receive the credit for it. Anyways, so Sid had a cousin, and the cousin was always a bit of a problem, and we're going to call this guy Ben. And Ben had contracted the Skibidi toilet virus, and it was pretty bad. He would spend all day watching Skibidi toilet videos, whether he was in school, whether he was home, whether he was on a rocket ship to the moon, it doesn't matter. But he could be in the pilot ship in $1 million moon, a rocket ship ride to the moon, where you look outside and you see the stars and the planets, and it's so magical. But Buddy would be looking at his iPad on a downloaded Skibidi toilet episode 48 video, watching it again and again and again for the entire duration. That's how bad the Skibidi toilet disease has gotten him. Yeah, so anyways, this kid has a bad case of the Skibidi toilet virus, and while Sid, the subscriber, didn't necessarily know that going in, either way, he knew that it was going to be pretty annoying to be over there, and that it definitely wasn't something he was excited to do. So the whole time, he was kind of like, Mom, are you serious? Do I actually need to do this? And his mom was like, yes, Sid, you should go help out your family, the only people who will be there for you. And low-key in Sid's mind, he's like, dude, I know for a fact my little cousin, if it was between saving my life and watching Skibidi toilet for 5 minutes, my little cousin, bro, he would 100% pick watching Skibidi toilet for 5 minutes. We're at this level of brain rot. Anyways, so eventually Sid goes over there. He's going to be there for about a week, pulls up to the house. His aunt greets him at the door. And immediately as he opens the door, he sees his aunt's face and she's like, oh, it's so great to see you. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for doing this. And there's a very faint sound coming from behind her. Can you guys guess what that sound is? Yes, it is very faintly Skibidi bop bop bop, yes, Skibidi bop bop. The freaking Skibidi toilet song that has plagued my nightmares for the number of Skibidi toilet kid videos I've had to do. It's plagued my nightmares at this point. Anyways, you can faintly hear that song in the background. So anyways, the subscriber Sid is looking at the aunt like, oh boy, this about to be long. So she's like, come with me. Come upstairs. You have the guest room, you have your own bathroom. Honestly, not a bad gig. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber's walking upstairs and he passes by Ben, his cousin's room. And he passes by and he looks inside. And it is the most brain rot thing he's ever seen. Ben has 2 monitors 2 monitors going. He's holding an iPad. So 3 screens are going at the same time. On both of the monitors, there's a different Skibidi Toilet video playing with no volume. Just like in the background playing for like background, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. There's 2 screens going on. They both have Skibidi Toilet running. And then on his iPad, he has the Skibidi Toilet song, like 8-hour edition, just looped again and again. And he's just like spacing out into space. Like, Buddy really sacrificed his brain cells to Skibidi Toilet. Buddy did a satanic sacrifice of every single brain cell, and now there's literally nothing left besides air in his head, which kind of unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of hate to see it. And real quick, I want to let you know, if you want a custom video from me, I am on Cameo. You can go to the description either on YouTube or on Spotify, or if you're on YouTube, go to the pinned comment and click view more, and it is the link on screen that says get a video from me. Anyways, though, so yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber's just like, oh my God, like the brain rot is so real. Anyways, right, so sure enough, the subscriber is kind of thinking to himself, okay, this about to be a long week. Which definitely long week was an understatement, since he almost got actually murked by the Skibidi Toilet Kit. You guys will see how that happens in a second. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, though, so sure enough, the first day, because he got there pretty late, he basically just went to bed and like whatever. Like he could hear like the Skibidi Toilet song playing all night. Like he got up at 2 in the morning to take a pee. And he walks by the little cousin's room, and he actually hears Skibidi Bop Bop Bop. Like he was probably asleep at this point. But imagine you go to sleep and the last thing you hear is the Skibidi Toilet song. And imagine waking up in the morning and the first thing, like you're gently awoken by Skibidi Bop 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 every day. Every day. I think I'd actually lose all my brain cells too. I think my mental capabilities would approach 0, and I'd only be able to communicate in Skibidi Bops and yes yeses. That's how bad it would be. Anyways, though, so yeah, sure enough, this kid's up to something. And for 6 of the 7 days, I'm going to quickly summarize 6 of the 7 days, because the real crazy drama happens on the 7th day. And, you know, I'm trying to cut to the chase here. For the 6 days, this kid is actually extremely easy to babysit. Ben basically sits there all day watching the Skibidi Toilet. And the subscriber is genuinely concerned for Ben because remember that what I described that he was watching on the first day, which is literally just the Skibidi Toilet soundtrack with like random Skibidi Toilet episodes on 2 monitors, like playing on mute. Yeah, that's what he watched every day. Imagine consuming 24 hours worth of the Skibidi Toilet soundtrack every day. And I say 24, I know like I jokingly say in the intros, trying to describe Skibidi Toilet Syndrome, being like, oh, they're watching it for 25 hours a day. No, but I'm serious. This kid's watching it for 24 hours a day or listening to the song because subconsciously, like that song is going into his brain while he's asleep, even if he's not consciously like rendering it, because it literally plays 24 hours a day. Like at some point, the subscriber was wondering, is he like cursed by some evil witch where if he doesn't listen to Skibidi Toilet for a second that he'll like turn into a frog or something? Like the subscriber was genuinely confused why anyone would willingly do that to themselves. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, the subscriber is pretty concerned, but the really concerning thing and the really dangerous, crazy thing happens on the 7th day. I just want to say though, I'm not telling you the secret word of the day yet. I will tell you that later. But all I can really do, because I get so many comments, is heart as many comments as I can. However, I know some of you guys would like a custom reply to your comment. So one thing I do every single day is I filter by super thanks, which is a type of comment, and I give a personal reply to each one of those. All you got to do is you got to click the comment section, click the little heart with the $sign, and then leave a comment like that. And I filter and respond to every single one every single day. Anyways, so yes, finally, let's talk about the 7th day. If this was Five Nights at Freddy's, man, we're playing 2020 mode on this one. Like, it's about to be bad. Yeah, so anyways, on the 7th day, this is when actually the whole family is getting back a little bit earlier. So part of the reason why the subscriber needed to come over was because this was a super busy week at work for both the mom and the dad, so the aunt and the uncle. Normally, whenever they had super busy weeks, it just so happened that, it was happening at different times. So like the mom could come back early or the dad could come back early. But for some reason, this was overlapping both times. They had to go. Also, the little cousin was out from school for that week, so they couldn't put him in school and have him in aftercare or whatever. It was a really bad situation. It was just like it was a storm of bad things happening at once. So they kind of needed some assistance. So anyways, on the 7th day, both the aunt and the uncle got back at normal times. So they were thinking of having like a sit-down dinner with all of them together. So basically, when the subscriber was doing the babysitting, all that he was instructed to do was order pizza, pick it up, bring the slice up to the Skibidi Toilet Kid, who's just like basically drooling, sitting there having no thoughts, listening to Skibidi Toilet all day, and just give him a slice of pizza, then go back downstairs. Remember, this is like the easiest job the subscriber has ever done. Like literally one of the easiest jobs ever. Because all he had to do was just sit there. So yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber, is this on this day, it's a little different. Because this time, the parents are going to come back. They're going to cook a normal meal. They're all going to sit at the dinner. It's kind of like as a thank you, as kind of a send-off thank you, which, the subscriber was paid pretty good. Like he got some pay, which by the way, I kind of segued into that. If you guys are interested in making money with YouTube, I also sell a course of everything that I've learned over my period. Would have helped me out back in the day. It is the second link in the description if you're on YouTube or Spotify, or pinned comment. And if you're interested, go ahead and you can learn on there, but it's totally up to you. Anyways, sure enough, on this day, they were all sitting together. And you know what that means, guys? That means the Skibidi Toilet Kid has to be away from his Skibidi Toilet song, because they're going to make him sit down and have dinner as a family. And you can only imagine, probably from the title of this video, you guys probably already know how bad it went, but you can only imagine how bad this goes. So let's just jump into the dinner from hell. So anyways, the day comes. It's around 6. The mom gets back, greets the subscriber, thanks him again for being there for the whole week. And then sure enough, after that, she gets to making a great dinner, like a big banquet, basically. And the dad gets back home, and eventually, it's time for dinner. So the mom calls up to the Skibidi Toilet Kid and is like, Ben, it's dinner. Please come down. We're going to have a family dinner. And I feel like they haven't had a family dinner in forever, because Ben's like, Mom, I'm watching Skibidi Toilet. And Mom's like, okay, honey, like, you can watch that after dinner. And Ben's like, I'm watching Skibidi. Which honestly is super impressive that he could say words that are not part of the Skibidi Toilet song. The fact that he's able to communicate in more than just Skibidi Bop Bops and Yes Yeses is actually to some degree pretty impressive. So anyways, the mom starts to get a little angry. She's like, Ben, we've been gone all week and we're just gonna have a nice quick dinner as a family. You can watch that Skibidi Dibbidi whatever went later. You can watch that on your own time. Like I asked for 30 minutes of your time, so you can say thank you for Sid. Sorry, I forgot the name. Say thank you to Sid for being such a good babysitter. He's like, Ma'am, I'm watching Skibidi. Just bring the food to me. So the mom goes up the stairs and is like, Ben, you do not talk to me like that. And it goes into the room. And then Sid is overhearing yelling, going back and forth. And Sid's kind of just sitting there, with having little glances to the dad. And they're kind of looking at each other, glancing back and forth, what the hell? What is going on? All this kind of stuff. Eventually, though, the subscriber watches as Ben comes down, looking furious. So
get the best fixed rate.
Angry. And he's still holding his iPad. Ben is just angry. Right. In Ben's mind, he's going to be at the table watching Skibidi Toilet. But the reason that he's furious is because he can't watch Skibidi Toilet with 2 additional monitors playing Skibidi Toilet episode. It's so insane. Anyways, they sit down. They all sit down at the table. And Ben's mom's like, thank you so much, Sid. It's so great that you could be here. It's Skibidi Bop Bop Bop, yes, yes. All of a sudden, you start hearing the Skibidi Toilet song at full blast. And Sid looks over, and this kid has his iPad out on the table, purposely 100% volume of Skibby blah blah blah. Like, it's just so bad. So anyways, the mom's like, Ben, could you please put that away and turn off your YouTube skibbity bop nonsense for 1 second? We're having a nice dinner with Sid, who spent his entire week here babysitting you. And at this point, Sid's like, oh my God. Because remember, he had such an easy week. He had such an easy time up until this moment. And Ben gives the dirtiest look across the table. He's like, no skibbity, there will be consequences. And Ben's mom's like, sure, I don't care. Like, no more skibbity. He's like, last chance for skibbity. He's acting like some kind of weird Wizard Gorlock type. I don't even know, bro. Bro's acting like a mysterious Mr. Something, right? But Buddy's really threatening his family over a skibbity toilet right now. Anyways, though, so he puts down the iPad and he gets up and leaves. And at this point, Ben's mom's like, fine, whatever. I don't even care anymore. She's like, you know what? Thank you so much for being here, Sid. We appreciate you, even if Ben doesn't know how to appreciate yet. He's still a younger boy and doesn't know how to truly express his feelings, which, dude, I'm pretty sure Ben expressed his feelings, which were murderous rage over Skibbity Toilet. I don't think the problem here is expressing his feelings. I think the problem here are his feelings. Yeah, so in just a second, you're going to see how this kid, the Ben kid, takes revenge and almost murks, game ends, life ends his entire family, including the subscriber, over not being able to watch Skibbity Toilet. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, I'd like you to comment toilet down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'm going to try and heart as many comments as I possibly can that say the secret word of the day. I've been on here tapping hearts, giving as many away as I possibly can. But once again, if you want like a heart and a guaranteed reply from me, all you got to do is comment a super thanks and you can customize the comment. I'm also going to be filtering for channel members. So if you're a channel member, all you got to do is hit that join button if you want to join the channel. It's like the same thing as subbing to someone on Twitch. I'll also be filtering for your comments, so I'll try and you guys will have a much higher heart receiving percentage. As well, you get some custom emojis. And of course, as before, link in the description on YouTube and Spotify if you want a cameo, a custom video for me, or you're interested in starting your own YouTube video and you want some tools and resources and education on that. And of course, if you want to submit your own stories, go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs, drop me a little follow on there, and then DM me / message me your story. So now, how will Sid and the family react to Ben almost murdering them over Skibbity Toilet? Let's go. Yeah, so sure enough, Sid and all the other family members, the mom and the dad, are sitting at the table. And that's when Sid kind of looks at the mom, because she's like, they kind of look at each other because they hear something. They hear like footsteps creaking, kind of like footsteps of someone sneaking around. And that's when they see Ben re-enter from around the corner. And he's grabbed a kitchen knife. But he has a kitchen knife like Chucky holds a kitchen knife in that movie, bro. This stuff turned into a horror movie real quick. So anyways, right, the aunt's like, what are you doing with that? He said, give me Skibbity Toilet. Give me Skibbity Toilet. And at this point, the uncle's like, son, put that down right now. He said, I will put it down if you let me listen to Skibbity Toilet at the dinner table. Bro, what? Huh? Are you serious? Yeah, no, that's my reaction too, boys. Like, I honestly don't know what's going on. All I know is Skibbity Toilet disease is bad. So anyways, kind of Sid's thinking on his feet because he's like, oh my God, I'm trying not to get murked by my little cousin over Skibbity Toilet. Sid says, hey, bud, put down the knife and you can watch Skibbity Toilet at the table. Do you guys agree? Looks at the aunt and uncle. They both like nod their heads like, yeah, sure. Anyways, Ben puts down the knife on like the far end of the table. So not even close to him. Because if he put it close to him, then maybe he could have reached for it and I don't even know, man. Yeah, like he could have done something. Anyways, he puts his knife at the far end of the table and then picks up his iPad and starts listening to Skibbity bop bop bop. Yes. So the uncle, or the dad of the spoiled kid, or the cousin, I guess, gets up very calmly, walks by, and then just grabs him in like a tackle chokehold and brings him to the floor. And the kid's like, get off of me, I'm watching Scooby. Yeah, so let's just say that Sid left. He went back home. He told his mom what happened. She freaks out. It's crazy. They don't get like police involved. They don't tell the news because they're not trying. Obviously, this kid has some problems, some skibbity toilet induced problems. So they send him to some psychiatrist or something. And I think he went to some institution. I don't really have many updates after this. All I can say is if my kid was going on a skibbity toilet murderous rampage, yeah, bro, they're going to the mental hospital. They need some help because I don't know, man. If you're trying to kill someone over skibbity toilet, I think it just speaks for itself. But you might need some help, man.
Get state business vehicle.
How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of the biggest Mr. Beast hater on planet Earth, and they hate him for the dumbest reasons ever. They try and go after the subscribers and cancel them for liking Mr. Beast. It is the most ridiculous story ever, so I know you'll enjoy it. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like stories. Leave a like on the video right now to claim your very own free nothing. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyway, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Gibson. So anyways, Gibson is a fan of Mr. Beast. I mean, look, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, nice guy, makes really good videos, super famous, has been grinding on this platform for honestly the longest time, and out of everyone, really does deserve his fame the most. And not only that, Mr. Beast makes a lot of videos where he gives a lot of money away to people. He does a lot of stuff for charity. He also does really entertaining things. So anyways, one day in class, they were all kind of sitting there chilling before the teacher came, and there was a girl. We're going to call her, what are we going to call her, man? We're going to call her Ava, right? So this girl, Ava, was a very interesting girl, very opinionated, and was one of those, she was one of those like individuals who, I don't know, was a big fan of the app Twitter, is specifically liked going on Twitter and being like, I'm going to cancel you for whatever reason, right? She was definitely like the type that was like, oh, I'm going to cancel you because you breathed air and that's offensive to people who can't breathe because they're dead. Like kind of like logic like that. So anyways, in class, one day, Gibson and his friends were sitting around talking about, you know, what they did last weekend. And this must have been a time when a Mr. Beast video recently came out. So Gibson was like, yeah, like I was doing something, then I dropped everything to watch the new Mr. Beast video. It was super awesome, totally blew my mind. And that's when Ava must have overheard this because she turned around and is like, excuse me. So obviously, like, Gibson is a little bit taken aback by why Ava just kind of like barged into this conversation and is all being all upset about something. So he's like, yeah, like, what's up right now? So Ava responds and she's like, I overheard, a little birdie told me that you're watching Mr. Beast. So obviously the subscriber Gibson kind of like turns to his friends, kind of looking like, yo, why? Like, I know Ava kind of gets mad at everything here, but why is she tweaking out over the fact that I listen to / watch Mr. Beast? Like, why is that all of a sudden such a problem? Why is that all of a sudden such a big deal that I watch Mr. Beast, bro? Like, I get it. You're upset if someone eats toast because, I don't know, it's offensive to gluten-free people, but bro, like, come on now. It's Mr. Beast. He donates millions of dollars to charity. He builds houses for people who need it. Dude, like, it just keeps going. He makes people's life and he entertains people. Why are you trying to cancel him? Like, literally quintessential Twitter right there. But anyways, yeah, Ava goes on to just start berating Gibson and his friends. She's like, you guys are all like, I don't even know. She starts rattling through every single word, like whatever phobic, any, like she just spams them all because they watch Mr. Beast. And Gibson doesn't even try and respond right away. Buddy is actually at a complete and utter loss for words. He doesn't know what to say, which in all fairness, I don't know if I would know what to say in this situation either. What can you even say? Because, like, I don't know, this obviously isn't a girl who majors in logic or has any brain cells to try and cancel someone for liking Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is too great of a person. He's too good. That's offensive to people who aren't as good. Like, bro, what? Anyways, so eventually after like a 5 minute, yeah, you heard me right, 5 minute crazy person tirade that she goes on, Gibson's like, okay, like, why, why doesn't, like, why is he, like, why basically? Because she was going off on him for liking him. And she's like, well, Mr. B, like, you know, like in a recent video, Mr. Beast destroyed a really expensive car and he spent all that money on like that video when he could have been donating that money to poor people. And Gibson was like, bro, Mr. Beast spends, like, first of all, so many of Mr. Beast's videos / content, whether it be like his TikToks or anything else on a social media feed, he spends so much money on like charity and building things for other people. And yeah, not every single video he does is a charity video. A lot of them are just plain entertainment videos. But then Gibson goes on to make a really good point. And I've made this point before when, I don't know if I made it online, but I've definitely thought this because, you know, Ava's not the only one who's like, quote unquote, canceled Mr. Beast over this whole thing, right? However, other people online have made the same claim, but Gibson follows it up with like a very like true statement. He says like, yeah, Mr. Beast doesn't always give his money to charity. He doesn't always do that. He sometimes makes videos purely for entertainment, but I don't see you canceling like Disney or Hulu or movie studios or TV who spend millions and millions of dollars. I mean, movies are hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine like if you allocated that to charity, man. Like that's so much more than like a Mr. Beast video. And not only are they spending way more than Mr. Beast for entertainment that low-key gets like the same number of viewers, bro, but also they don't do any charity stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, they might do a little bit for their good public image, but a lot of what Mr. Beast does is charity. He just also does pure entertainment. What about these people that are doing pure entertainment? They're also spending way more money. Like, Ava, why aren't you going to cancel like them? Or why don't you cancel anyone who watches anything entertainment? Because that money could have been spent on like poor people or what you're saying right now. So Ava kind of looks at him with this blank stare. Yeah, so Ava's just kind of like blankly staring at him, kind of like just not being able to respond because at the end of the day, Gibson made a really good point. It is a really good point, just saying, yeah, like why, if you're so mad about this, there's so many other people that do stuff like so much worse. But you know for a fact that Ava's like watching all this like TV and stuff and loves movies. So, you know, Ava, you know, doesn't like Mr. Beast. So it fits her narrative. It really does fit her narrative for that to be a bad thing to do. But when you turn it around and be like, hey, what about the things you like, such as these TV shows and movies? Like, they're low-key doing it 10 times worse if you actually care about the point you're making and not just making it for the sake of making a bad point. Well, then you should be boycotting all this stuff that you like. So, classic move here. Ava, instead of actually responding, instead of actually like responding to the point, because it's a pretty valid point, she literally just changes the topic. Okay, she's still on the same topic, but she just pivots the point. She has a new point. She's like, well, Mr. Beast is actually extremely sexist. And Loki Gibson wanted to like keep pushing on the other point because he definitely knew he got her there, but he's just curious. He's like, what? Like, why would you say Mr. Beast is sexist, bro? And she's like, yeah, well, if you look in his videos, like, the majority of his crew, if not all of his crew, they're all guys. And Gibson's like, well, yeah, because like it's his friends from day one. Like, don't you think it may, like, yeah, he wasn't friends with a ton of girls and guys, but it was like a handful of guys. And he's like, wouldn't it just like, if you were making videos and you wanted to make them with your friends, you might have some guy friends, but like a lot of your friends are girls, so your closest ones might be girls. And what if you want to make videos with your 3 closest friends? Wouldn't it just make sense to have the 3 closest friends and not have to worry about, oh, well, do I have a guy in this mix? It's like, no, you're making them with your friends. You don't want to make videos with people you barely know, bro. And isn't it better that Mr. Beast, instead of switching up and like getting rid of his like hometown like day one friends for like random other people, is instead kind of like rewarding them for being his friends since the very beginning? He's just making videos with his friends, bro. And at that point, Ava's like, either way, I'm still right. Bro, whenever someone ignores your point, because let's say you absolutely demolish them, which Gibson absolutely demolished her twice on both of her points. Whenever someone says, I don't care, I'm still right, after you factually dismantle their argument, and they don't even bother to refute your claims, to maybe amend their argument, maybe to be like, okay, well, that piece of evidence wasn't as strong as I thought, but here's a new piece of evidence or a new argument I've constructed that is better and still kind of like pushes my points or my opinion. Whenever they're just like, no, I'm right, you're wrong, wah, like, you just know, bro, that's an instant I just won type moment. Yeah, so Ava just like, I'm right, you're wrong, and if you don't stop, and then she says, if you don't stop, like, if you don't stop watching Mr. Beast / publicly endorsing him, like, you're gonna hear it you're gonna regret it. Which Gibson and his friends were like, yo, why are you vaguely threatening us over watching a YouTuber? Are you also going to vaguely threaten the other 100 million plus people who are subscribed and watch him? Like, I just don't really understand here. So she's like, you'll see. And she just like storms off. So Gibson turns to the boys. And at first he's like, what? And they all kind of agree that, you know, Gibson had some really good counterpoints because her points were pretty bogus in the first place. It's not even like Gibson is some master debater dude. Oh, damn it. God damn, you guys are going to be weird in the comments now. It's not like Gibson is some master at the art of debate. Ha! Try and make that weird now. It's just like her points were so garbage that honestly a 3-year-old or anyone with above like 12 IQ points could put together an argument explaining why it's so garbage. But otherwise, the other thing that they went on to talk about was like, what did she mean? You'll regret this. Like that vague threat is like, it's not like they're scared. It's not like Ava is going to like jump them with her, like, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, is she going to be a nuisance? Like, that's the thing they're most scared about. Not like actually scared. They're just afraid of something annoying happening or just something like that is just, I don't know, not what they want. And well, let me a little bit of a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but a little bit of a hint. Yeah, she does something extremely annoying, and you will see. Anyways, so the next day in school, they also haven't like publicly, I guess Ava wanted them to like publicly renounce Mr. Beast because they didn't even say before she does the thing that she's about to do, which I'm not going to leak it, but it's pretty crazy. Before she does the thing that she's about to do, they didn't even see her again. Like the last time they saw her was when she stormed out. So it's not as if they were like, I don't know, going up to her and being like, oh, we love Mr. Beast, which, yeah, I mean, who cares? I mean, I will say that would be a little bit annoying if she's obviously so butthurt over Mr. Beast. I don't know, it's just like leave her alone because probably she's much more of a problem. Like you just, for your own sake, don't instigate the problem, dude. Just generally when it comes to this stuff. But they didn't even talk to her. It's not like they posted anything either, like, oh, reposting a Mr. Beast post or something, or they didn't even say anything. But the next day, they come into school, and it all seems like a normal day in the school at first. Of course, it doesn't stay like that for long. So at first, it all seems like a normal day in school. They walk in, or at least Gibson walks in, and the very beginning of class, the very beginning of school, there's a little bit of like a down period because they give a range of time. They give like 15, 20 minutes kind of for people to filter in. I mean, I guess people could just come 15 minutes later and that's like the real start, but you're encouraged to come like 15 minutes early just for like traffic reasons. And also it was kind of like a fun time to be there because you'd show up and like your friends who were there, well, early during that kind of 15-minute block, if they showed up on the earlier side, you could kind of have like a little bit of a chill session with them. It wasn't like a full recess or anything, but like a nice little start to the day. You see the boys before class, just like a nice time or whatever. So anyways, Gibson gets there, 15 minutes early. He and his friends usually try and get there, or they ask their mom or bus driver, whatever. They try and schedule it so they get as much of that 15 minutes as possible so that they can hang out with the boys. But when they get there, let's just say that Ava's about to do something pretty insane. But real quick, If you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment Mr. Beast down below. That'll be the secret word of the day, and I'll heart as many of those comments as I can if you're on YouTube. If you want the best chance of getting a heart, comment Mr. Beast 3 separate times. There's a better chance I'll see it and be able to heart your comment. And if you're on YouTube, if you want 100% guaranteed that I will reply to your comment with a good reply, when you leave a comment, leave it as a super thanks. That's the heart with a $sign. I check those. I filter by those specifically. And also, if you're on either platform, make sure that you have joined the Discord server and follow my Instagram. That's where you can submit these stories. If you go into the description on interesting. Anyways, so Gibson and his friends get there, and there Ava is, standing with a big poster saying, "Cancel Gibson." A poster that says "Cancel Gibson." And she's like walking around in a circle, doing like one of those like protest chants, like 1, 2, 3, 4. We want Gibson to kill him. Saddam. I'm playing. They're like, it's like one of those like chants, like, who do we hate? Gibson. Why do we hate him? I don't know. It's some like stupid protest chant or whatever. And sure enough, right, Gibson's like, yo. So eventually Gibson, because like people are like looking over and they're like, what? Because at first, here's the thing, a very vague sign that says "Cancel Gibson." Like, you're going to think that he did actually something bad, because there are, look, I do make fun of people, I do troll a bit when people like, oh, cancel you for eating bread, blah, 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 all that stupid stuff, right? But originally, and sometimes, like, people get canceled for being terrible people, for doing terrible things. At some point, it's like, bro, you're not getting canceled. You committed a crime. It's like, there's a difference, right? I almost feel like the connotation of canceled is so vague that it could be an actual crime or literally nothing, aka Twitter finds it a crime, which means you're fine. So yeah, Gibson goes up, and Gibson starts like yelling, like, yo, like, he's like, stop this. Or if you're going to do this, at least clarify why you're canceling me. And she's like, no, I'm just going to say you're canceled. And he's like, so you're really doing all this because I like Mr. Beast, and I'm going to proudly support and watch him. And then Gibson goes on to say, and you're probably so angry about this and mad at me specifically because I absolutely demolished you yesterday. I destroyed your 2 points, and you're too weak-minded to be able to respond to them. So instead you storm off and make a little poster trying to cancel me. Okay, should Gibson have dropped such heat like that and demolished her? Yes, he should have. Anyways, so she's like going around being like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gibson canceled more. I don't know. And so people are kind of crowding around, kind of like looking. And at one point, like someone kind of from the crowd is like, what, like, why? Like, why should we cancel him? And she's like, he supports Mr. Beast. And everyone's like, what? Like, literally almost all at once, people in the crowd were like, huh? What? What the hell? Huh? What? Yeah, it was like a big, like, cacophony of confused noises and sounds. Because, dude, I would be a little confused too if I was her, if I was told that someone needed to be canceled. They needed to be canceled because they watch Mr. Beast videos. Like, I'm not like a Mr. Beast stan who has his post notifications on and watches every single video, every 5,000 like videos every day. I watch 10 hours of Mr. Beast. I'm not like that. But I watch an occasional video, and he's a really cool guy, and I really support him because he's like the future of YouTubers and YouTube. But so should I be canceled too? Like, seriously? So yeah, after about a second or two of the crowd like reacting, they all just go away and like ignore her, and everyone walks by, and she's like, no, come back. We need to cancel him. We need to, and someone literally says someone like yells like, go to your class. Like, they literally are just like, dude, you're wasting our time. So Gibson like goes up to her as she's like she lifts down her sign, folds it up because she realizes it's a failed cancellation attempt. And Gibson just smugly looks at her and smiles, and she's like, go, get away from me. And Gibson just smiles smugly and then walks to class.
Get all your large frosty face.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we got a story time of a girl who calls a classmate fat phobic for being fit. Yes, for going to the gym, for going outside and moving. He's being called fat phobic. Yeah, this is a very interesting story time, so sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Ralph. So anyways, right, this all happened one day when Ralph was on the playground. This all happened one day when Ralph was just out with his friends. So anyways, there was a pull-up bar. And let me just say that Ralph, Ralph was a good kid. You know, Ralph was, one who went out, worked on himself, loved to go to the gym, just had instilled a lot of good, healthy habits. And one day, out at like recess or whatever, there's a pull-up bar, and he was with his friends, and, he just kind of wanted to go on there and crank out some pull-ups to be impressive. Like, is that a crime? Is it, guys, is that a crime? Is that a terrible thing to show that, like, I don't know, you care? Oh no, he cares. Right. So, yeah, he went up, cranked out a bunch of pull-ups. All of his friends were like, what? Whatever. And, yeah, sure enough, his other friends went up there. They were maybe able to do a few, but nothing compared to Ralph. And, yeah, not gonna lie, Ralph was feeling pretty good about himself. It's a pretty cool thing to do. It's definitely something that can't come all at once, and almost like one thing, it's like the one thing you can't buy in life. That's at least one of the reasons why I find it personally so impressive when someone has a physique. I don't necessarily mean someone's like a bajillion pounds of lean muscle. I mean someone's like obviously goes to the gym, because yeah, sure, you can buy better food, higher nutrient dense, you can have a personal trainer, you can have everything, but if you don't go out and do it, you can't buy your way to it, right? You can buy advantages, but you can't buy it itself, right? So that's why I always have a lot of respect for it. However, there was a young Karen in the making, right? A young Karen in the making who was watching this all go down with her friend. And this girl, we're just going to call her Twitter girl. You know why we're calling her Twitter girl? Because she has the mentality of most people on Twitter. Let me just let you know that don't go on Twitter. If you have Twitter right now, turn off the notifications and stop going on it. I go on it a little bit, which I really shouldn't, but I've completely muted almost every single person, right? The only people I follow are like Dr. Andrew Huberman. Like I try and get like the best, I try and curate my feed, right? Because people on Twitter, I don't know, I've spent a lot of time. In fact, on this channel, I used to cover like people getting canceled on Twitter for stupid stuff. After a while, you start to enter a bit of psychosis because of how insane. It's like, am I going insane or is everyone else stupid? And in fact, not everyone else is stupid, but everyone on Twitter is stupid. And that's why we're calling this girl Twitter girl. So yeah, basically, right, the subscriber, all he did, the horrible, evil crime that he committed was that he did some pull-ups on the pull-up bar in front of his friends to impress his friends, right? Pretty evil, I know. And this girl, the Twitter girl, and her friends witnessed this. And I don't know, if maybe, I think if a normal person saw this, maybe they'd think one of two things. One, they wouldn't think anything of it. Or two, they'd be like, that's impressive. I can or cannot do the same. Maybe if I cannot do the same, I should work towards that. It seems like a pretty cool goal. Having that amount of control over your body is pretty sick, right? That's a pretty normal, healthy way to go about it. But no, this is not a normal, healthy individual. This is a Twitter individual. Very evil. I'm kidding. No one's really evil like that. But anyways, so the subscriber is just a little bit of time goes forward, and it's lunch. So they had kind of like a free period recess type thing, and then they had some class, and then they had lunch. Subscriber is sitting with his friends, and, life's pretty good, life's pretty normal, and that's when the Twitter girl comes up to him, and he's like, yo, like, well, what's up? What's good? And, they don't really talk. In fact, I don't think the subscriber has ever spoken to the Twitter girl before. Like, the subscriber knows who she is. They know of each other. But it's just kind of like a situation where, I don't know, it's a little weird. Like, it's just kind of strange. Like, if someone just comes up to you and you guys have never spoken before, it's just a little weird, right? It's just, I don't know. And especially when she came up, kind of had like a hostile aura slash energy around her. I don't know if you guys notice this, but sometimes people will just come up to you and you already know that they're about to cause a problem. Like, I don't know. There's just something about like we've evolved to pick up on really like micro signals. I don't know. This is sounding really weird, but I feel like we've definitely evolved to pick up on the really tiny things that tend to kind of let us know if something kind of annoying is about to happen, right? If someone's about to be, kind of a difficult person, if someone's about to cause a problem, you almost get like a little bit of energy. It's almost like you start to feel, you pick up on the social signals, like the little signals that, yeah, this person's about to be a problem. So yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber's starting to pick up on the vibes that, okay, things are about to go downhill a little bit. So, he looks at not the spoiled kid, the Twitter girl, and they make eye contact, and the Twitter girl's like, I just wanted to let you know that what you did today was incredibly fat-phobic. Please don't use that word in real life, guys. And by the way, let me just say that I think on the internet, there's actually probably like too much like just straight up hate towards people that are overweight. Like just clowning on them for no reason is pretty ridiculous. And look, everyone's a human being. Please try and remember this. One of the greatest tenets I think you can live by is to treat people like you'd like to be treated, and you'd like to be treated like a human being because you are one. Apply that to your life, you'll live a better life and you'll do better. But what I'm trying to say is like, at the same time, bro, what do you mean it's quote unquote fat phobic? Like, he did pull-ups. That's fat phobic. I swear, this is the type of person who spends 1,700 hours a day scrolling TikTok and be like, this sounds really good. When in fact, it's just someone spouting off about nonsense. Nonsense. You heard me. Nonsense. Yeah, but anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber is kind of just looking at the girl and is like, come again? Which is like totally valid. I mean, this girl just said, I saw what you did today, and you were super fat phobic. Well, first of all, what's that even mean? Like, what does that mean? Second of all, what? Like, dude just had a normal day. It's funny, because, like, the subscriber at this point, like, didn't even realize that what she was talking about was the pull-ups. Like, he was genuinely searching through his mind, trying to recall every single thing that he did that day. Like, he was partially convinced that, she had him mixed up with someone else, because in his head, he's like, I haven't done anything. Like, I just have existed today. Like, I've literally just existed today. Is that a crime now? And so, yeah, he's kind of like, what did I do that was fat phobic, ? And she was like, well, today at recess, when you did all those pull-ups in front of your friends, like, you were really trying to show off how in shape you were. And, like, at the time, the subscriber's like, yeah, I mean, true. It's like, she's not wrong. You're not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, true. But, at the same time, like, the subscriber's trying to figure out, okay, what exactly is wrong here? And she's like, and you were doing it in front of all your friends, and you were showing off. You were flexing. You were really showing off how strong and in shape you are. And it was almost as if you were proud of it. And the subscriber kind of gives her a look of like, like, what do you mean if I was proud of it? I am proud of it, bro. Like, try me. Yeah. So he kind of gives her a look of, what are you talking about right now? Haha, like what? And she's kind of like, and yeah, basically, okay, she articulates a little bit cleaner than that, but she basically says, because you're proud of being in shape, that is inherently fat phobic, and we will not stand for it. And the subscriber kind of looks at her with like a question mark face, because he's like, we? Who's we? Yeah, so sure enough, the girl's like, well, I don't think you know this, but you're going to know who we is pretty soon. Basically, we have, me and all the gals have come together, and we've decided to have an anti-fat phobia squad. And the subscriber's like, bruh, well, what does that mean, bro? Like, for real, what does that mean? Anti-fat phobia squad? Like, y'all gonna protest the gym? Y'all gonna protest outside? Y'all gonna protest the salad option at McDonald's, bro? Like, what's the plan here, dude? And she's like, you know what? And we have assembled as of yesterday. In our first case, we'll be canceling and destroying you for your actions that are harmful to the community. Okay. And the subscriber is kind of just like, okay, boss. Okay, boss. Cool. Okay. Like, well, what is he supposed to do here, bro? Like, seriously, what is he supposed to do? Be like, ah, man, shucks, that sucks. I guess I'll just stop doing pull-ups, like, on the pull-up bar that was planted there by the school. Yeah, so obviously a subscriber is super confused right now. He's like, and he's just been told that a team, the anti-fat phobia team of just random kids will start to harass him basically just because he was doing pull-ups. Like, I don't know, this is just kind of goofy. So the subscriber just kind of responds, trying to clarify, like, look, I was just doing pull-ups and my friends happened to be watching. I don't necessarily see the issue here. Like, I'm not trying to be like a jerk or offensive or anything like that. I just genuinely don't understand like what the issue here is. And the girl's all like, well, you should have known. Like, I know for a fact that like the reason why that you were doing that, like your friends, you were doing it to show off, right? And here's the thing. What if one of your friends was secretly 600 pounds? He's like, what? How could they be secretly 600 pounds? She's like, you don't know. He's like, dude, what? Yes, I think I do. I have 2 eyes and they function. And she's like, you can't assume these things. But anyways, let's say that one of them was actually 600 pounds and you just you didn't listen to them. And the subscriber's like, oh my God, I don't think we live on the same planet. I think we live on 2 different planets because the laws of physics in your world are a little bit different than the laws of physics of my world. So, yeah. Anyways, right, the subscriber, it's just very awkward right now, and the girl is getting, like, angrier and unhappy. And all this, like, I don't know, it's just like at a point where, you know, she's just like, you don't understand what you've done. You don't understand the enemies you've made today. All this kind of stuff. And obviously the subscriber just doesn't really know how to respond to this because, like, how does one respond to this? Like, is this something you respond to? So eventually the girl, like, walks away. And remember, this is all happening at lunch while he's sitting down at the table with the boys. And they all kind of turned to him. And they're like, dude, what the frick was that, bro? They probably used words a little bit more or less, or a little less YouTube friendly, but they were like, dude, what? Like, what even was that? So yeah, sure enough, you know, the subscriber turns to his friends and is like, dude, I really don't know. And they're just like, well, that sucks for you. Like, maybe don't be so fat phobic next time. And he looks at them with a look of like, seriously? And they're like, relax, bro. It was a joke. Obviously, she's insane. And then they look at him and they're like, dude, think about it. What's the worst she could possibly do? Which, let me just say that I always feel like whenever you say, like, what's the worst that could happen, you're basically asking for it. I mean, you're basically asking for it. You said, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe the universe is going to show you what the worst that could happen actually is. Like, it's like, okay, oh, you want to know the worst can actually happen? Yeah, sure. I can actually show you what the worst that can actually happen is like. Sure, take a look. So yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber he's in for a very interesting next couple of days, to say the very least. Real quick, though, if you made it this far into the video, comment fat down below. I don't even know, dude. Just comment fat down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. And if you made it this far into the video, yeah, comment fat down below. Check out the pinned comment and link in the description to the Spotify page. Make sure you're listening on Spotify and following on Spotify if that's also a platform you use. And yeah, let's get back to it. Yeah, so anyways, he's thinking to himself, okay, how bad can it really be? Like, these are the people, like, what's going to happen? He's going to be canceled on Twitter. Hey, man. Hey, check your Twitter. You just got canceled. He's like, yeah, something stupid like that won't even matter. Also leave a like in the video for your free nothing, or I'll cancel you on Twitter. You don't want to risk it, guys. But anyways, right. So he's like, okay, how bad can it actually be? Like, what are they actually going to do? So the next day, you know, he comes into school. It's early in the morning, woke up, going to his first class. But before that, he needs to make a stop at his locker. He needs to drop something off. So, you know, I don't know. He's expecting to go to his locker. Just normal day. Nothing really going on, right? I don't know why you'd expect something to be going on. You feel me? And, yeah, Sure enough, he walks to his locker, and let's just say that it was not like it normally is. So there was a note, and not like a sticky note or anything, but like a piece of paper that was like hastily taped on, and it just says fat phobic on it, which like, bro, remember, the reason why he's being called fat phobic is because bro did pull-ups, and now there's a targeted harassment campaign. You're being fat phobic because you did pull-ups outside. Like, dude, what? So yeah, he looks at it and he just like rips it off because like he doesn't want like, I don't know, he doesn't want people to think that like he was the one who put it there or something. And he's just looking at this and he's like, seriously, like this is seriously what's up right now? Like really, this is what's up. This is what's good. This is how we're rolling right now. So he rips it off.